Okay, so good afternoon everyone. My name is Margarita Gil, and today I would like to talk about why should we learn a language and the more important, how to do it. So I know that you have heard some reasons why should we learn some languages. For example, you will get a better job or you can travel. Of course, we know those things. But today I would like to tell you something different. Learning a foreign language is more than just a boost to your CV or a handy for traveling. I would like to tell you about my experience learning Czech and English, and also I would like to tell you some things which I found on internet which I think are really important when you are learning a language. So the first thing is that you become more perceptive. I think that's completely true. It has happened to me. When I came here, I was not able to understand anything. Anyways, I had to understand the situations which were around me. So how could I do it? The only thing I could do was to learn to read the body language or to read other kind of things which showed me what was happening or what was going on. So that's why I think this is really true. You become more perceptive. And also, you focus on the relevant information. For example, here in the Czech lessons, the teachers are in the lessons of chemistry or whatever, the teachers are just talking so much, and I cannot get all the words translated into my brain and then understand the meaning. What do? I just focus on relevant information. When he's telling something really important, then I really try to understand it. So it's like something if you want to read a book in English. Of course, you are not going to understand every single word, but you understand the meaning. Why? Because you are focusing on relevant information. So you will get this skill when you are learning languages. Then we have that your memory improves. Of course, you will need to learn all the vocabulary. You cannot learn a formula how to translate the words to another language. You just need to memorize everything. So you are going to memorize a lot of words, but also your memory will improve in other aspects. For example, in chemistry or whatever, it helps you to learn the formulas faster because you already have your brain trained to memorize. So this is really good. And then we have you build multitasking skills. Well, I'm still waiting for it to happen to me because changing between languages is really complicated. So for example, and more when you have more languages, like foreign languages, when you have to change from a foreign language to another foreign language, it's just a chaos on your head. So it's really complicated, but it's a good skill, and not just between languages, but also in all the aspects of your life. So those are 3 reasons which I think are really important. But now I would like to tell you something further, something which I think is really true, and something from my heart, what has happened to me here. So, improve your own language. I forgot this one. Yeah, of course, when you're learning another language, you need to remember the grammar, you need to know what is a verb, an adverb, an adjective. When I started learning, English first in Colombia, I had to think, okay, what's an adjective in Spanish? And then I understood, and not just with these simple things, but also about making sentences more complicated. You become more aware about your own grammar in your own language. So this is really good. And then I have here this sentence. It's in Czech and in English. It says, the more languages you know, the more you are human. So now I would like to start explaining you how was it for me to learn Czech language. It's a language that I never thought I wanted to learn. I didn't even know it exists. So here I have the first reason, is to get in contact with a new culture. When you are learning a language, of course you are getting in contact with a new culture. Some people can say that, okay, I can travel to Spain, I can be in contact with the Spanish culture, and I don't need to learn the language. So yeah, that's true. I was living here over a year. I was not able to speak Czech, and I had never had a conversation with a Czech people, with a Czech person. So yes, I was here, but I was not able to understand anything here. I just saw, Prague is amazing. I just had some Czech beer and those things. But I wanted to have a conversation with someone, with a Czech native, and just to ask him, what do you think about life about anything, even the sense of humor. When you are learning a language, the sense of humor is different in each country. So the jokes that you are making in Czech, for me, are not funny. And in the classes, of course, always the teachers are saying something funny, everyone is laughing. And for me, it has happened that just once or twice I got the joke and I was laughing. And I was really happy because I understood the joke. So those are some things about getting in contact with a new culture. But more important than that is to understand it. So as I told you, you can travel and get in contact, but you will never understand it really if you don't understand the language. So I have here these pictures of Czech Republic because it was my own experience here. As I told you, I was in Prague. It's beautiful. My father, my mom, they were there. They saw everything, but for them it was different because for them they was just trip. But for me, I was here trying really hard to learn the language, trying really hard to understand the culture and everything. So I saw the difference between them and between my perspective about Czech Republic. So I was living in Ostrava for a year. I have here the picture of the fabric. Vitkovice, I think you know maybe. For me it was really impressive to see this fabric. I have never seen something like that in my life. And I wanted to ask someone, how was the life before? How was in the age of the communists? How was life? How was their way of thinking? Everything, because I'm from another world and I think completely different than you guys do. So the first time I was able to speak with someone, it was with an old guy. And he told me everything. He was working in this fabric. So he just tried to give me a vision of the life here. So it's really to understand the culture. You will be able to speak with locals and to see different ways of thinking. So that's about some reasons about why should we learn a language. And now the hardest part is how to do it. It's not that easy. So the first thing you need is motivation. For everything you do in life, you need a big motivation. So I want to share with you the story of a guy I met here in the Czech Republic. He just spoke English and Czech, and I was explaining him about my country, about Colombia. And I was telling him all the difference. Here I have some pictures, we have the Caribe, we have carnivals, we have a lot of things. And he told me, you know what, I want to go there. But I want to go there and I want to be able to speak with the people and to understand everything. So he started learning Spanish, and now he's somewhere in South America. So it doesn't matter which is your reason. It could be traveling, it could be get a better job, it could be graduate with good marks in English, whatever. But first and most important is a real motivation. The second thing is be ready to work hard. You cannot learn a language just like that by magic. I was waiting here a year, just trying that the language get into my head just by magic, because I said, I'm living here all the time, I see Czech, I hear Czech all the time, but the time was passing by and I realized that I was not learning anything. So you have to really work hard. And the last thing is speak. Speak and speak. Don't worry if you are making mistakes, it's normal. We are learning by making mistakes, but the problems we have is that we are really shy and that we are afraid of making mistakes, and more when you are speaking with a native speaker of that language. So it happened to me here because all of you are native speakers and I'm really speaking Czech really bad, and I was really afraid of that. But then I realized it's the only way I can do it to learn this language. So speak and speak. And to finish, I would like to read you this sentence by Nelson Mandela. It says, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in a language, in his language, that goes to his heart. So I think that's really true, and because of that, I would like to say in Czech, děkuji za pozornost.
That's very good.
Okay, is there any question?
Would you like to ask a question? How did you end up in Ostrava? I thought that all the students who come